Good morning standard 5 students. Today in this class we will discuss about the crop production in chapter 4 in science. So let us start about the crop production. So before we should know about crop production, what is agriculture should be seen. What is agriculture? Let us see. Agriculture is the science, art and occupation of cultivating the soil, producing crops and raising livestock. That means we can see agriculture as cultivating the soil and producing crops for our food also and livestock also. When we are raising livestock for our food, then also or any other items also, then it is called agriculture. So let us see about this more. Agriculture, the Latin root of agriculture is agri or field. Agri means field plus cultura means cultivation. So cultivating a piece of land or planting and growing food plants on it is largely what agriculture means. So actually basically the agriculture means planting and growing food plants for our use. That is very important for the survival of our life. Agriculture describes the practice of growing crops or raising animals also. If you are raising animals for food or any other purpose, then also it is comes under the agriculture. So let us discuss more about this topic. So first we should know about what are crops. We are growing crops in agriculture. So what are crops should be known to us. The plants that are grown in large quantities in a particular area or region at a particular season are called crops. That means if you are growing the plants in large quantities and in a particular area also and particular season also, then it is called crop. All field crops need soil, water, air and sunshine to grow. That means sunlight is very important. All the seed needs, you know that seed needs to germinate air, water and sunlight. Without any three of these, plants or seed cannot grow. Soil is also very important for the plant, you know. The soil gives stability to the plants because the root fixes the plants into the soil. It also stores the water and nutrients which plants can take up through their roots, as soil provides the nutrients and the water also that plants need to grow, and they take these through their roots. The sunshine provides the energy which is necessary for plant growth. The sunshine gives the energy, with that the plants make the green plants make their food. So it is all important for the growth of the plant. So what is a crop plant? Crop plants are plants that are grown by humans for food. Mostly we grow the crops for food and other resources. In this section we will consider four cereal crop is a grass like plant that is grown for its seeds. In this we will discuss about the different agricultural practices and the crops grown, different crops grown in our country. So first of all we will discuss about the factor that affects the growth of a crop. So the soil is at a particular place affect the growth and development of crops. So soil is very important factor that affects the growth of a crop. Soil is important for the growth of plants. A crop grows well in one kind of soil but poorly in another. That means one kind of crop can grow in one soil very nicely, but in other soil they cannot grow properly. It grows poorly in another type of soil. Different parts of India have different types of soils. Major types of soils are clayey soil, loamy soil and sandy soil. So let us see one by one about the soil. Clayey soil. It is sticky, very little air present, rich in organic matter. In this soil, cereals, wheat, gram, paddy, lentils, pulses can grow well. Now, second type of soil is loamy soil. This soil is rich in humus and fertile. Retains water well. It can retain water well than clay soil. It contains clay in tiny amounts and porous. It is porous also. So, in these plant roots can get air, enough air. In this soil, cereals, wheat, gram, sugarcane, jute, vegetables can grow well. This is the best soil suitable for growing crops. Now sandy soil. Sandy soil, as the name suggests, it has more than 60% sand and clay. It contains very little clay and silt, so it is porous. Since sand is 60%, so it is very porous. Suitable crops. Sandy soil is not good for plants actually because it cannot hold the water. However, melon and coconut grow in sandy soil. If water is available for irrigation, then crops such as maize, millets, barley can be grown in desert soil. Nowadays, by irrigating in deserts also, many crops are grown. Cactus also grow in sandy soil, you know, na? Cactus grow in sandy soil mostly. So, this is about the soil. Now, let us see about growing crops. What are the steps in growing the crops? To grow crops, farmers perform several agricultural practices over a period of time. Various stages of agriculture are listed below. So, let us see about the stages by which the farmers grow crops for the whole country. So, first step is plowing. A plow or plow is a farm tool for loosening or turning the soil before sowing seed or planting. That means soil should be loosened and soil should be turned so that it can get air. It is aerated. Plows were traditionally drawn by oxen and horses, but in modern farm are drawn by tractor. Nowadays, in big farms, tractors are used to plow the field. So, most of the works are done by the tractor nowadays, but before the poor farmers or the small farmers were using plows. Traditionally, they were drawn by the oxen or by horses. So, why is plowing the field important? Why it is important to plow, to loosen the soil? Why it is important? Plant roots will get more moisture with less effort because it loosens the soil. Since plowing it loosens the soil, the plant gets easily the air and the moisture. It also improves the soil structure due to alternate drying and cooling and soil aeration. That means the soil is drying and cooling, then it gives the soil aeration very nicely, which helps in multiplication of microorganisms. The microorganisms get proper air and they can also grow well in the soil and they help the plants to grow. You can see the old method, that is oxen are used for plowing the field. Here you can see the farmer. Now next you can see the modern method, the tractor is used to loosen the soil. It is the fast method and it is used in big farms where manual plowing is very difficult. Now next stage is sowing seeds. After plowing, seeds should be sown in the field. Sowing or seedling is an art of placing seeds in the soil to have good germination in the field. That means sowing seeds are not an easy task. It should be seen that how all the seeds can germinate well and they can get proper air, water and sunlight. So it is also an art. Healthy seeds should be sown in the soil because healthy seeds will give you a healthy plant and healthy plant give you a good crop. There are different methods of sowing. You can see some are spraying the seeds by hand in the field. Next you can see some are placing the seeds by one by one seeds to different places by keeping the distance in them. And nowadays in big farms the seeds are sown by the tractors also. You can see in this picture tractors are used to sow the seed. It is making the burrows and it is burrowing the field and it is placing the seeds in these burrows. Now next, manuring. Manure are plant and animal waste that are used as sources of plant nutrients. That means manuring is very important to give the nutrients to the plants. For the good growth of the plants and for better yield, manure should always be given to the field. They release nutrients after their decomposition. The art of collecting and using waste from animal, human and vegetable sources for improving crop productivity is as old as agriculture. That means always the manuring is done, it is as old as agriculture. That means from the day when agriculture started, manuring is done in the field. Why is manuring important? Manure is rich in organic matter or humus. That means it is coming from living things, that's why it is rich in humus and thus improves the soil's capacity to absorb and store water. That is very important for plants growth and it prevents erosion also. It provides nutrients to the plants. Fertilizers are also added to the soil. So it provides the humus provides the nutrients to the plant for growth and some fertilizers are also added in addition to manure to the field. You can see how the manure is added manually. Manually the farmers are adding manure to the field. Here you can see spreading manure by the tractor also. In big fields the tractors are used to spread manure in the whole field. Now next process is irrigation of field. Irrigation is the artificial application of water to the soil through various systems of tubes, pumps and sprays. So, irrigation is also very important because if there is no water, no rainfall or irregular or dry times or drought is expected, then irrigation is a must for the field. There are many types of irrigation systems in which water is supplied to the entire field uniformly. It is very important because without water plant cannot survive. You can see the different methods by the pipe it is supplying the water to the field. In this you can see by spraying the water in various places of the field, it is also a process of irrigation. Now spraying pesticides. So we should prevent the pest from our field. Pesticides are used to control various pest and diseases carriers such as mosquitoes, ticks, rats and mice. They carry diseases also and they also harm the crops. They will eat the crops, they will destroy the crops, so it should be removed from the field. Pesticides are used in agriculture to control weeds. Weeds are also harmful. They will take all the nutrients from the soil and the plant will not grow properly. Insect infestation and diseases also should be controlled by pesticides. There are many different types of pesticides. Each is meant to be effective against a specific pest. For each pest, there is a special pesticides that control and that increase the yield of the field. Now last stage is harvesting the crop. That means after the crop has grown well, it has become ripe, you have to harvest the crop. That means cutting and gathering of the crop from the fields. Reaping is the cutting of grain or pulse for harvest, typically using a sickle or reaper. On smaller farms with minimal mechanization, they manually cut or harvest the plant. Harvesting is the most labor intensive activity of the growing seasons, but nowadays the tractors are used to harvest the crops. You can see the picture also how the manual harvesting is done. The farmers are cutting their crops by their hand only using sickle or reaper. And here you can see the tractors are used to cut and harvest the plant. So it is the last stage where the farmers get their result of so much hard labor and they get the crops from their field. So thank you students, we will meet in the next class again. Thank you all of you.